All right, I'm back. I'm still here. I didn't go anywhere. Thank you to everybody who has been subscribed and has stayed subscribed since I haven't been uploading. There's been a lot of transitions going on in my life, and I just really haven't felt called to make any videos, but I've gotten a lot of comments saying that they wanted to see a second part and kind of what I'm up to now. So that's what I've been wanting to make, and I'm finally getting around to it. I wish I could be in a heavily forested, dense setting like I was in my last video, but it's literally so hot here right now that the thought of being outside is actually crazy. So my last video was how I got to Florida, what kind of unfolded since I got here, all of my career changes that I made, all of the moves that I made. A lot of them have been kind of forced. The universe pushing me in a direction. I wanted to start a business with the person that I moved in with, the couple that I moved in with when the thing happened where I had to move from Tampa back to Orlando. The partnership fell through, but it was to push me in a whole different direction, which ended up working in my favor, and it was kind of unexpected. So the shortish story of that is one day I was out just taking a walk. I wanted to go out and ground, and I looked on my phone to see what metaphysical shops were in the area. And at that time, even though I wanted to start a partnership, a business with my roommate at the time, I also wanted to start a little photography side business on top of that. And I actually went into the metaphysical shop because I saw that their social media was kind of lacking. So I actually went in there to see if they wanted any help with their social media. And turns out I ended up going there and making a connection. And I went there at the same time as somebody that was going there to take a tarot class. And I've been doing tarot my whole life. I never really did it intuitively. I would pull a couple cards and look at the book. And there was a tarot class going on, and somebody was there that was taking the tarot class. And they said, "Hey, are you here for the class?" And I said, "No." And they absolutely insisted that I take this class with them. A complete stranger. He's now a good friend of mine. So I awkwardly took this class with him because he literally bought it, paid for it. He literally insisted that I take it with him. And people started to notice that I was actually pretty good at tarot, even though I hadn't done it. I didn't know the full meanings of all the cards, the minor and major arcana, all of that. And people started to notice how good I actually was, and I didn't even know how good I was. I was just kind of doing it for fun. Every, I don't know, 6 months I'd pull some cards and see what was going on and see if it resonated with the themes of my life. Then the owner kind of took me under his wing and said that he wanted to teach me a little bit more. So I developed a relationship with the owner. And during that time, there was a sound therapist there doing sound baths. I don't know if anybody's familiar with those, but one of the ladies the lady that was doing it there, she actually was just leaving. Like, she was traveling somewhere, and she had a class that she was going to do, and she left the owner hanging. And he got a hold of me and asked if I would fill in. I didn't have any sound equipment. I didn't have singing bowls. I had one crystal singing bowl that was back home in Michigan that I didn't take with me when I moved to Florida. And he had a bunch of cheap metal singing bowls, like little $40, $60, $70, $80 ones that are colored and they're not fully tuned. And he had one large glass singing bowl, and so I told him that I would do it. I really wanted to push myself and get out of my comfort zone, and it was something that I always considered doing, and I've always been drawn to the singing bowls. I had the crystal one, a little C shape or C note singing bowl back home, and so I knew that I was attracted to them. So I pushed myself to get out of my comfort zone, and I told them that I would do it. And I was nervous AF, and the night came that I was going to do it, and I was co-hosting the class. One lady that I was co-hosting with, she was leading a guided meditation, and then I was doing a sound bath. I had to do a set for a half hour and make the instruments that I had work. And after that class, I decided that I was going to keep doing it. He asked me if I would keep doing it, and I told him yes. And so I decided that even though my funds were low because of everything that's happened in the past several months of my life, I was going to invest in a full set so I can continue to do it, because obviously this was the path unfolding for me. And at the same time, I had interest in doing tarot at the same metaphysical shop, and he said that he would let me read there. So I ended up going and buying a full set It was a little over $1,000, really money that I didn't have, but I figured it would pay dividends if I just took a risk and went for it. And I continued to do classes there. I got my set. I continued to do classes. I continued to invest in equipment, music gear, more singing bowls, drums, and I continued to do classes there. And then I actually met somebody who was doing sound baths at a yoga studio up in St. Cloud, which is like northwest of Orlando where I was at. It was about an hour away. And so I started doing sound baths at a yoga studio and started getting kind of a community going there of people that were being drawn to me coming to the yoga studio for my sound baths there. And then I started reading tarot at the metaphysical shop, making a little money on the side. I didn't make too much from those. It was like $20 for like a half hour reading. I was making like 25 bucks, and it was all right. And the sound baths, they paid all right. So between all of everything, I wasn't profiting from all of my bills, but I was maintaining okay. And it was a new path. It was something new, interesting. I have spiritual roots, and that was kind of tapping into that. And in that time, I learned how to public speak. I learned how to host classes. I was hosting meditation classes, breathwork classes, working with energy, kundalini energy, chi, all these different spiritual practices. I was helping people. And then when I was doing the tarot readings, what I was doing I was pulling cards, and at the end of the day I was giving them therapy. So I really was giving people spiritual counsel and helping a lot of people. I mean, I was doing a lot of readings. I was there weekly. Sometimes towards the end there I was doing them almost daily or every other day. I was there quite a bit. I became one of the top readers there. And I ended up moving again. Stuff kind of settled down, and all that stuff was kind of slowing down. In that time, my parents, who part-time in Naples, made a connection of a lady that wanted a private chef, and I have a large chef background. Before moving to Florida, I was a chef for 10 years, which I think I said in my last video. And they wanted me to do a private chef gig. They wanted me to come in and cook for like 15 people. I haven't done anything with food in like 3 years at this point. And I told her that I would do it. I came up with a price. I had no idea how to charge for this. I had no idea. I've done catering, I've done events and weddings, so I knew that I could do the actual carrying out of the service, but I didn't know how to price anything. I didn't know what to charge them. When it came time to actually do it, I nailed it. But when I was done, they said, "You are way underselling yourself," and they actually ended up giving me 3 times what I asked for, because they saw that I was underselling myself, and that really changed my whole world, and it really gave some perspective that I was kind of underselling myself in a lot of different aspects of my life, and that just seemed to be the loudest at that time, that given lesson. So I actually started to build on that, and after I did that one, I got a couple more clients and started making more. And I've been kind of freelancing that, getting back into the food, and that was the peak of season in Naples. So there's a lot of wealth and a lot of very wealthy, successful people that live in Naples that have a lot of free time and a lot of excess money, that love hosting parties, and they love hosting with private chefs and doing events, themed events, and they hire bartenders and chefs. And so I kind of got my feet wet in this and started jumping in and seeing how many of these events that I could get and what kind of money I could make. And then it's also getting my food out there, because I always said that I would never work in a restaurant again because it's toxic, it's really rough hours. And when I moved here, that was kind of the last of that, and I decided that I wasn't going to do it anymore. And so since this was me being able to be my own boss, which I wanted way back when I was at my roommates and we wanted to start a business together, that was the main reason that I wanted to do it. I wanted to be self-sufficient. The whole reason was to be self-sufficient, to make my own money, to have more freedom, to build my own clientele, to build connections, to network, to get my gifts out there in the world. And this was a direct reflection of that, so that's what I've kind of been building on. And just recently, I actually moved to Naples. I've always wanted to live alone ever since I've moved here. I haven't lived alone for 10 years. Since I was 19, I had a studio apartment. And for the first time now, I'm living alone. I'm renting a small place in Naples at a fraction of a cost of what everybody else is paying around here. I somehow manifested. It's another temporary thing, but finally alone and in my own energy. And it's really nice to just have to worry about myself and my own energy and cleaning my own space. Don't have to worry about interfering with anybody else, affecting anybody else with my spiritual practices, and anybody else interfering with me and my meditations and my spiritual practices and tarot readings and whatever else I'm doing. There was a lot of people asking, and I'm kind of moving to this now. That's kind of everything that I've been doing since I've made my last video. Everything happened very fast from the time I moved to Winter Park to then Naples. I decided that I was moving in 3 days' time, and 3 days later I was out and I was here. I just dropped everything once again, and now I'm here. So I'm kind of given a rest period, I think, before the next steps kind of unfold. So I also wanted to touch on, I got a lot of comments of people asking what I think of Florida and if they should move, and how everything is as far as like cost of living and food and temperature, weather. And I just want to say that in the almost 4 years that I've been here, this year so far is the hottest it's been. Granted, I'm in South Florida now. It's still around the same temperature where I was. I've been checking. But it's the hottest. It usually starts getting really hot in like June, July. And right now at the beginning of May is usually what it is in like June or July. So it's getting hotter earlier. The real feel has been like 105 or more. In the car the other day when I got in the car, it was reading 121 it's very freaking hot. And yes, the summers in Florida are always hot, but I feel like it's gotten progressively hotter each year that I've been here, and far more intense. I've definitely noticed that everything has gone up. I mean, everything is going up everywhere, but I know it seems like Florida is becoming one of the higher cost of living states in the U.S. right now. I kind of feel intuitively that Florida is going to become the new California at some point. Everybody is like transitioning here. I kind of want to go somewhere else. I'm not sure yet. I'm kind of waiting to see if the universe pushes me in a direction, since it seems to always push me in new places and get out of my comfort zone and try new things. Everything just kind of comes to me, and then I just pursue it as it unfolds. I think definitely follow what you're being called to do. If you're feeling called to move somewhere, listen to it. If it's truly your intuition telling you to do it, if you truly have a nudge to do it, definitely do it and go for it, despite what anybody else says and whatever else is going on in the world. Pursue what you are being called to. I've gone through like 4 different career changes since I've moved here, and like 5 different living situations, and it's been a very crazy journey. And I want to thank again everybody who has stayed subscribed to me even though I haven't been uploading, and for being patient and waiting to see if I'm going to upload again. And so here it is, and I hope you enjoyed hearing more of my story, and I just wanted to talk to everybody like you guys were my friend, and continue to share kind of what my path and my journey has been recently, because it's pretty wild, and I'm sure it's interesting to listen to some extent, and I hope it inspires people to just go with the flow and see what comes to you. And any opportunities that come to you, just take a risk and try it, and if it doesn't work out, then you try something else. It usually works out for you, and if it doesn't, then oh well, you try something new and you give something else a shot. So that's kind of how I've been living, is just as things come to me, I just try it and go for it and say F it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So again, thank you guys for watching. I kind of want to get back into uploading more videos. I don't really know what or how yet. YouTube algorithm really wasn't pushing my stuff anymore. So I kind of gave it up, but maybe I might push and try to make more content. I'm not sure what yet. If you have any ideas or anything that you'd like to hear more of from me, feel free to let me know. Comment below. Like and subscribe. Help me get into the algorithm. Help my message reach more people. And I love you guys. I'll catch you in the next video.